Look at this beautiful spread I have going on here today. Garlic scapes are finally ready inside of my garden. So today I'm going to make a delicious garlic scape and basil pesto. So stick around to see how I make it. Garlic scape pesto is so easy and so delicious to make. The most work that it is basically gathering up and chopping up your ingredients. The rest just consists of throwing everything in a good blender or a food processor to blend everything together. I think I'd be missing the mark if I didn't explain to you, first of all, exactly what is a garlic scape. So when you plant your garlic in the fall, I have to plant it here in the fall, and then it comes out in the spring, your leaves come up, and eventually this comes out from the center of your garlic, and this is what's called the garlic scape. It is recommended to remove these when they've curled over twice, and of course before they bloom, because if you leave that there, it would eventually make a flower. And the theory is that when you cut these off at this point, your garlic bulb is bigger. So I have about 300 of these right now in my garden, and so I'm going to be giving some away. But before I give it all away, I do want to show you how I make a garlic scape and basil pesto. I'm going to start by chopping up 1 cup of the garlic scapes. I like to cut them in smaller pieces just so that when I put them in the blender that they blend up a little bit better. And I'm going to wash and remove the basil from the stems. I also got this basil from inside of my greenhouse and add them as well to the food processor. And the rest is basically kind of to taste. So I have 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup, and I'm using walnuts for nuts. I'm using avocado oil because that's what I usually use when I cook now. I don't have a lot of olive oil on hand, so I'm going to be using avocado oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, salt and pepper to taste, and that's it. So very simple. Most of these ingredients you'll probably already have on hand. When you're chopping up your garlic scapes, you want to make sure that you remove the tips of what would be the flower, and you can snap off a part of the bottom of your garlic scape as well if it seems like it's going to be a little bit woody. And then after that, it's very simple. Just chop them up in about 1-inch pieces. Once you have all your ingredients prepared, all that's left to do is to put them inside of your bowl of your food processor. I'm going to start by adding the things that are a little bit harder to grind up, like I'm going to put the walnuts and give those a few turns of the food processor first. Now we'll do the garlic scapes. And I'm going to add in the basil next. It smells incredible, and it looks as good as it smells. Salt and pepper to taste. So you put a nice couple of good pinches of salt in there. And I'm a big fan of pepper, so I just might put it all. Lemon juice and Parmesan cheese. It's about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. 1 cup of basil, 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of nuts, tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm going to pulse all this together once again. I will have the recipe linked in the description below. Be sure to scrape down the bottom to make sure everything gets well mixed, and I haven't even added the oil yet, and it already looks incredible. I'm going to slowly add the oil now in by just drizzling it in right through the top here and while it runs. So this is really going to be a question of your personal preference of how thick or how thin you'd like your pesto to be. Make sure to scrape down your sides often. Probably going to add all the oil in mine. I like something that I'm capable of spreading. This is more the consistency that I like. See how it's easy. It's not too thick, but it will kind of spread easily. It's perfect. So we're going to transfer this now over to a bowl. Look how beautiful this is. It smells incredible. And as easy as that, garlic scape basil pesto. So simple, and it smells absolutely delicious. Now, I did say that I would give you a couple of ideas what you could do with this. So this, think of when you're making pasta. So you can add this to your pasta, but instead of putting like a red marinara sauce or a pasta sauce, you can use just basil. If it's too thick, add a little bit of pasta water to it or a little bit more oil to it to make it go further. Be sure to taste it so it doesn't taste like too strong. You can also use this beautiful pesto on top of bread. Like if you want to make like a bruschetta, you can put a thin layer of your pesto and add your tomatoes and spices on top. That is absolutely delicious. You can use this as on top of a pizza, like when you spread out your crust, and you can add a thin layer of your pesto underneath your sauce. It will just bring that sauce to a whole new level. There are many ways that you can use this delicious pesto. It'll keep in your fridge for probably a week or so, maybe 2, and it freezes really well. So you can make a bunch of it, like, because I mean I used maybe 7 or 8 scapes to make this much pesto. So if you have few scapes, there's a lot of things that you can do. If you want some more ideas of what you can do with garlic scapes, be sure to check out my other videos. I have a video on a delicious garlic scape salt, and also there's pickled garlic scapes that you can use inside of it, like a drink, like a Caesar or a Bloody Mary kind of drink. You can use those in there, and you can also dehydrate your garlic scapes and make a nice garlic powder. So many uses for these scapes. You can saute them and use them in stir fries. You can broil these, put these on the barbecue. Anyway, the ideas are endless of what you can do with these garlic scapes. They can replace garlic in any recipe that you're making. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy my content. If you do, give it a big thumbs up. Be sure to check back again soon to see what other content I'll have coming up.